Hello, chefs. This is Chef PSA Podcast. I'm your host, André Natera. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the day in the life of a chef, so stay tuned. Before we get started, let me give you a brief update. If you want to support the show, you know what to do. If you listen on Spotify or Apple or anywhere else you listen to podcasts, make sure you leave 5 stars. Nothing less than 5 stars. Good people leave 5 stars, and you're a good person. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share the video with a friend. Spread the word. Go to chefspsa.com where you get everything to truly support the show. Buy a book. Culinary Leadership Fundamentals, Bad Cooks Everywhere, the 2 most popular right now. So go get those. If you don't have them, go get them now. If you want early access to podcasts, subscribe to my Substack, as well as you get a lot of other benefits there, including a 15% off from the Chef's PSA store, exclusive podcasts that are only available there. I'm thinking about doing the same thing on Spotify. For those of you that have told me that you don't really do Substack, and can I just do early access to podcasts on Spotify? The answer is yes, I can, of course. I release the podcast every week, but it doesn't mean I record once a week. Sometimes I'm ahead 3 or 4 episodes. I just haven't fully released them out. So if you go right now on Spotify, you'll see some of the next few guests, including Rogelio Garcia from Napa Valley, great interview. Fermin Yunez, which is out next week, from Suerte here in Austin, Texas. Junior Borges is coming up right after that. I have 2 episodes that I'm working on right now with Brent. Everyone knows Brent. Brent Eats Food, Brent Flicks, Masterclass. Brent's great. So he and I have a lot of shit to talk, as well as Harold de Villarosa coming up soon. So a lot of episodes. You want early access, maybe I'll do it on Spotify, but for right now, Substack is the only place that you're going to get early access to those episodes. Don't wait, go get them now. What are you waiting for? So this book right here, Culinary Leadership Fundamentals. There's a chapter in this book, A Day in the Life of an Executive Chef. And I get super granular into what it's like being an executive chef, because I think a lot of people have a misconception of what that job really is. Now, I will say, and I talk about this in the book, is that being an executive chef in a small independent restaurant or an independent restaurant isn't exactly the same as being an executive chef of a country club, and it's not exactly the same as being the chef of a hotel. And even in those worlds, being the chef of a small hotel is not the same as being a chef in a very large hotel. Being a chef in a luxury hotel is different from being a chef in a casual hotel. Being a chef in a 3 Michelin star restaurant is not the same as being a chef in a very casual spot. So there's not a one size fits all in what a day in the life looks like. I could tell you from my own perspective, I've worked in most types of kitchens at some point in time or another. Most, not all. So I've never been on a cruise ship, and I've never worked in corporate commercial dining. So I can't really speak to those. I've never been a private chef, but I've been a chef in many types of kitchens. But I want to start this off with a story. When I was a young cook, just starting out, I used to idolize my executive chef at the time. So I'm, 17, 18 years old, still in culinary school. And this chef that I worked for he was larger than life, intense. So if you've seen Fancy Chef 2013, he has that tall chef's toque with the red, white, and blue stripes, from usually the American Culinary Federation, or, a lot of French chefs used to have the colors of the French flag or the Italian flag, whatever it was, on the collar, buttoned up. Sometimes they would have black buttons back in the day, but the chefs were different. They were prestigious. They were majestic. They had a certain je ne sais quoi about them. They'd walk through the kitchens with their shark fin hat, like sharks, picking everything apart. My chef used to come up to me. It was intense, right? These were the old days, so I had to show up when I had to show up. It didn't matter. I couldn't clock in until a certain time, but I had to get there in time to finish my work. So if that meant I was there 2 hours early, 3 hours early, that's just the way it was. And that particular restaurant, we opened for dinner service at 6 o'clock. Everyone would have to go on break, on meal break, or smoke break, or, drink vodka in the park break at 5:30. So 5:30 rolls around. Everyone has to leave the kitchen because the executive chef is going to wander through and taste everyone's mise en place and feel how sharp everyone's knives were. Chef was intense. He would come through And if your mise en place wasn't right, so maybe your green oil wasn't green enough, or your brunoise wasn't perfect, or the chives weren't cut correctly, you would dump them. You'd find it in the trash, whatever the case may be. Whatever it was that you were working on, if it wasn't perfect and up to standards, when you came back, you would find it flipped over either on your station or it would be in the trash. And if your knife was dull, there was a good chance your knife would also be in the trash. And we'd come back from our break, and then we were always nervous, like, what's Chef going to throw away while we're gone? We'd come back and Chef would say, nothing's 86'd. You need to fix this. This is what I threw away. And we open now. So after that, it was a mad rush to scramble and get everything ready for service. None of us liked this, but we all wanted Chef's approval. It was very dysfunctional. So one day I go up to Chef, and it was part of my culinary school project. I needed to shadow a chef for a day and write a report on it. So I asked him, I said, Chef, can I shadow you for a day and see what you do? Now, for some reason, this chef really liked me. And he's like, absolutely. So the first thing that we do is we go right up to a trash can by the dish breakdown station. No one's there. It's just he and I. And he grabs a handful of silverware and he throws it in the trash. And I look at him like, what are you doing? And he raises his finger to his lip like, let's walk. And I'm puzzled because I'm thinking, why did you just throw away a bunch of silverware? Like, he's always on us. He's always on the stewarding team. Like, you're throwing away dishes. You're throwing away silverware. And so we begin to walk and we go around and he's inspecting and look at this. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is right. And he's pointing out all these little things that I couldn't see, but he had that shark eye. So we'd walk by something and say, this is underproofed. Look at it. Touch it. Smell the stock. They didn't roast the bones long enough. Whatever the case may be. He was just picking everything apart. He was a perfectionist, right? So after going on this tour with him of picking everything apart in the kitchen, we come back to the dish station. He goes up to the dishwasher and says, have you done your trash can audits? Now, for those of you that don't know what a trash can audit was, and some places still do this, but this is what we used to do in this particular restaurant years ago, is you would go to the loading dock and you'd dump the trash can and you'd scrape it with like a rake or something to see if there was any silverware in there, because you want to make sure that people weren't throwing away silverware. That's money in the trash, right? So again, he asked the guy, have you done your trash can audit? And the steward's like, done it. There's no silverware in there. He's like, there's no silverware in this trash can. He's like, no, chef, there's no silverware in the trash can. And he says, so you're telling me if I dump this right now all over the floor, there's going to be no silverware in there? He's like, yes, chef, I promise. So what did he do? He grabs the trash can. He dumps it right in the middle of the kitchen. The silverware that he had thrown in there all of a sudden comes out and he's like, well, then what the hell is that? Clean this shit up and don't lie to me. And he storms off. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell just happened? I saw him throw the silverware away. And I'm feeling bad for the stewarding guy. I'm like, I'm not sure. Should I tell him what really happened? So I go into the chef's office afterwards and he's just chilling, sipping his coffee. And I say, Chef, why did you do that? I didn't understand. I didn't understand what he was doing. And he says, we learned two things today. He says, one, we learned that Lewis is a good guy. Now, Lewis was the dishwasher we were talking about. He's like, and I trust him. He's like, we learned that. And two, always have an insurance policy. He says, if I had dumped that trash can all over the floor and there was no silverware in there, he's like, not only would I be an asshole, but I would have to clean it up. He's like, this way we know he's a good guy, but at least we don't have to clean it up. That blew my mind. That blew my mind to this day. This in particular chef, he was always making moves. He was always being a little bit sneaky. And I used to study him and watch him. And I never really knew what he did because he never cooked in that kitchen. We did all the cooking. The only thing he would do is taste and critique. Never expoed. He was either in the office or telling us what to do. But the only time I ever saw him pick up a knife in the entire time that I worked there was only to make these beautiful canapes and hors d'oeuvres for a VIP guest. And at that moment, I was like, okay, this guy can cook. He's legit. But other than that, I never saw him cook. I learned a lot from this guy. Line us up in the morning. He'd inspect our fingernails, check our shoes, check our aprons, make sure that we were clean. And if we weren't, we were going to get sent home. No pay. So what is a day in the life of a restaurant chef? Well, a day in the life of a smaller restaurant chef, you're still attached to the food. You're still cooking every day. But you also have a significant portion of administrative duty. When I used to run an independent restaurant, first thing in the morning, I'd come in. I would have an AM sous chef usually get there before me, so they were checking in the produce. When I'd come in, I'd see what's missing. Okay, we're missing this from such and such vendor. I need to call them up. Can we get that in? Sometimes my sous chef would be calling me up and saying, on your way to work, I need you to stop by and get fish, or I need you to stop by and get this. We got shorted. We're not going to be able to get it in for service tonight. As soon as I walk through the door, what are the problems? I'm walking in. It's normally about 8:30 in the morning, right? What are the problems? Checking on the things that we did from the previous night. Was there a braise? Was something sous vide? Did we leave a stock overnight? Making sure everything's right. Test it, taste it, make sure it's good. Make sure it's stored properly. Did the walk-in go out overnight, right? Making sure everything's correct. Depending on what the staffing is like, right? A couple of hours later, people start coming in. Everyone's getting their station ready. I need to make sure people are in when they need to be there. I start panicking a little bit. Joe's late. Where's Joe? It's only been 5 minutes. It's only been 5 minutes, but Joe calls off a lot. So you start panicking. Is he going to come in? Do I need to start setting Joe's station up, right? History dictates that he's not coming in. So I start setting it up. Head down. I've never worked this station, but I wrote the menu, so I know how to make the food. You start finding these, start opening drawers. You discover the towel stash. Food that's off, right? Maybe Joe shows up, but he shows up late. Where were you? You hear some excuse. It doesn't matter where he was, and the excuse doesn't matter because he does this every day, and he's probably lying. You get ready for lunch. You do your pre-shift. You talk to the staff. What's 86th? Everything has to be communicated. Today's special is this. We have this many reservations. These are the PX or VIP guests coming in. I have a one-on-one with the restaurant general manager. Talk about service for today. What does dinner look like? What do we work on for the next few days? How was service last night? Discuss any issues, right? We're set up for service. Am I working the line or am I working the pass, right? Do I have enough staff where I don't need to do either? Maybe I'm in the back cutting fish. Most times, if there's enough staff, I'm going to cut fish or butcher. I'm going to be the butcher for the restaurant for the day. As soon as the lunch rush starts, I'll jump on the line, kick the sous chef off. I'll run the pass. I'll throw them on support for whatever station needs it. Maybe that's saute, grill, pantry, wherever. So they act as a float, right? I'll sell the food. Maybe it's a slow day. I got to make some adjustments. I got to cut hours. You have to react fast. We close for lunch at 3 o'clock, 2:30 rolls up. Maybe I don't need to be on the line anymore. And I got a lot to do. I got to start placing orders for tomorrow. I got to start checking invoices. I got to go through meetings. I got to have any meetings that I need to have. I step aside. This is my admin time. Anyone knows during this time that this is when you meet with me. So I'm plugging in invoices into the computer, I'm writing schedules, I'm responding to emails, I'm writing any menus that are due for catering or anything like that. Hey, chef, can I talk to you? Hey, chef, can I talk to you? No one ever wants to talk to you about how your day's going. It's, hey, can I get Friday off? Hey, I know you just sat down, but so-and-so, and I just can't work with that person. Hey, chef, do you have a minute? I want to get promoted. What do I got to do? Now, I want to make time for everybody. It's important. It's important that I listen to my team, but I'm fucking behind on my work. And I got to get shit done because we have dinner service at 5 o'clock, and this is my 2-hour window to do my administrative work. Vendors show up unannounced, wanting to sell me on the latest nonsense that I don't need. Walking through the back kitchen, saying hi to everyone like they're your best friend, even though they're not. And then they start chit-chatting with my cooks, and I walk up like, who are you? Do you have an appointment? Oh, no, chef. No, well, then you got to go. You don't have an appointment, make an appointment. Don't talk to them. I get mad at the cooks like, hey, if they come in, send them away. If they don't have an appointment, send them away. We're busy. We need to focus. It's time for dinner. Same thing, pre-shift all over again. Get the line set. Dinner is my service. Food's a little bit more elevated. I want to work the pass. I move my sous chef to the line to make sure that they're permanently there. If I need a second expo, which occasionally I did, I might pull them off. But for the most part, I want to make sure that I'm finishing plates. I'm tasting everything on the line. I'm doing my line checks. I need to make sure everyone's shown up. Someone called off. What do we do? Move someone on the line. Shift it. We're 86 this. What do we do? Figure it out. Let's make this as a special. You have 10 tastings tonight. Do we have enough food for that? What are the allergens tonight? All this is being discussed. Service starts. There's a little bit of a lull. I pull my sous chef off the line. It's like, hey, we're not busy till 6 o'clock. I need an hour just to disappear, do some admin, run to the office, get things done. Call me when it gets busy. I'll come out. I get the call, 6 o'clock. I'm on the line, head down. You don't really look up. It's chaos. Tickets are coming in. You're wiping plates. You're sending it out. You're arguing with the server. I promise you it was on the ticket. I promise you it wasn't. Just tell me what you need. I don't need the whole story. 9:00, things start winding down. I tell my PM sous chef, hey, I'm stepping offline. I'm going to finish up my work. Maybe it's month end. I got to put in inventory. You got to count. You're not leaving yet. Dishwasher disappeared. Am I staying late to wash dishes tonight? I don't know. 10:00 rolls around. I should probably go home. I'm tired. I'm going to wrap up, send some emails, send this off. I'll see you tomorrow morning. That's the day in the life of a restaurant chef. You're still connected to the food. You're touching food every single day. You know everything that's happening. You know all the moving parts. You know everyone by first name. You know everyone's patterns, who's calling off, who's not, right? Life I had after that, I was the executive chef of a very large luxury hotel. Shout out to them. They just got their Michelin key. But the life is different. It's not as intense with the food anymore. And I mean in terms of touching it every single day. I show up to work. First thing I do is connect with my administrative assistant. What do I got going on today? They tell me you need to be here, here, and here. I go to the hotel stand-up meeting where they talk about 90% of the things that I don't care about. I have to be there though. There's more politics here. You don't show up, people think you're not engaged. That's their first assumption, is that you don't care about the success of the team. It's never that this meeting is not important for you and you have more important things to work on. No, there's more politics involved. You go through the meeting, you talk about VIPs coming in through the hotel, you address problems from last night, guest recovery, things like that. You talk about what's being served, an employee staff meal or whatever. You start making your rounds and shaking in with all your chefs and cooks. Big operation like that, I'd have one-on-ones with all my chefs every day. Come see me, come check in. If they weren't there when I checked in, they need to come check in with me when they arrive. What are you working on? What am I working on? I get called into HR because so-and-so is fighting. Someone else wants to talk to me about their boss that they don't like. I open up my computer to see that I have 200 to 300 emails that I haven't responded to. Everyone needs a menu. They're late. BEOs are flying. Can you approve this menu price? This customer wants to know if you can make this vegan, right? I'm touring the kitchens. I'm looking at the problems. I'm addressing things with the chef. I'm pulling them off to the side. Hey, that's not right. Hey, look at that person over there. Have you addressed that? The kitchen standard is flipping. It's not as clean as I like it. We need to address this. I'm shaking in with everyone. Everyone loves me. I'm the chef. They don't know me. The chefs know me. They need to see my good side. I need to be hard on the chefs to make sure that they're doing their job. It's not the cook's fault that it's wrong. It's the chef's job to make sure that they're doing it right. They're either not teaching them or they're not holding them accountable. Which one is it? I get pulled into all sorts of meetings. The catering manager wants to talk about a menu. A client wants to talk to me about an event coming up next year. There's a pre-convention meeting coming up. There's BEO review. We're doing a tasting for a new menu rollout. I'm getting grilled for my food costs being missed by 1 point. I get an email stating that the guest didn't like the wings. Maybe we need to look at a new recipe. Their room service wings weren't crispy enough. Knee-jerk reactions for everything. It's different. You play the political game a little bit. You can't insult people's intelligence because knowing how to work with other departments strategically is important. If you're a hotel chef, your director of finance, and your human resources director, you're two best friends. Why? Because if you're ever missing on the financials, get out of jail free card. If you ever fuck up, HR is going to save you, right? Your two best friends along with your boss. Make sure they like you. Dinner service rolls around. Where do I need to be? I don't know. Do I need to be in the banquet operation? Is there a VIP going on up there? Big banquet plated? Maybe it's not large, but maybe it's important. Do I need to be in one of the restaurants? I don't know. Who needs me? Sometimes no one needs you. Well, someone needs me. I need to find a place to be. Let me go down to hang out with the chef in the fine dining restaurant because that's where I get excited. That's fun. Let's see the food. Let's taste food. What are you working on? Let's talk strategy. Let's go through the menu ideas. Right. He's take a break. I cover him on the pass for a little bit. I keep everyone on their toes. I wander through the kitchens, go to the pastry shop, steal a cookie. Right. I probably eat way too many chocolates out of a Cambro. I'm searching for candy in the candy box. I'm getting in trouble. You could have the best day and the worst day at the same time. When you run a really big operation, something terrible could be going on in one of your kitchens while something exciting is going on in one of the other kitchens. Someone could screw up in one kitchen, you're still responsible. And then you got to quickly turn it around and be happy as you go into the next one because they're winning, they're successful. Put on a smile. People are bringing you stuff to taste all day long. Chef, what do you think about this? Let's talk through it. Chef, I put a canapé on your office that I'm working on. Let's critique it. I go downstairs, I go upstairs, I go to every single floor, I check on every single kitchen. I want to be connected with the food. I want to taste everything. I want to be involved with everything. I don't want to lose that connection. It's really easy in a large operation when you get sucked into a meeting to talk about the next pizza party, right? The day in the life of a chef is probably not what most people think. Yes, you're around food. Depending on the type of operation, you might be head down on a board all day long. You might be in and out of meetings. But the one thing that remains constant is that you're responsible in both. When things go good, that's on you. When things go bad, that's on you too. The one thing that I enjoyed about running a larger operation is that I got to touch lots of different types of food every single day. If I wanted to make pizza, I could go do that. If I wanted to make Mexican food, I could go do that. If I want to do something soigné, I could go do that, right? Sometimes in a smaller restaurant, you're only touching what's on the menu. Maybe it's 10 items and that's it. I enjoyed the bigger operation. But if you give me a really focused, intense kitchen, I could also enjoy that. Be where you need to be when you need to be there. That's the chef's job. Go home when you need to go home. Anyway, that's it. If you want to support the show, like I said, make sure you leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. Go to chefspsa.com where you get everything. Hats, like this one, merch, books. This one here, Bad Cooks Everywhere. Let me read you something out of Bad Cooks Everywhere. Alex knew he was in the big time, standing there in his black chef coat with red embroidery spelling out Chef Alex, his black skull beanie and navy blue apron. Knife roll in hand, he felt the rush of excitement. From across the room, one of the chefs eyed him sharply and marched straight over. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded. "I'm Alex, Chef Miller's student. I'm here for my job." Alex responded, trying to sound confident. The chef, imposing and stern, introduced himself. "Well, I'm Chef William. I've been here for 4 years. Started from washing dishes up to becoming the chef de cuisine. And I won't have some damn kid walk into my kitchen dressed like that. Take that shit off, go home, show some respect. You have to earn your embroidery around here. Come back tomorrow and don't be an asshole." Bad Cooks Everywhere. Go get it. Don't be a bad cook. We'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
Yo, it's André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.